Recording. Click to this computer now. We are live. All right. What is going on, beautiful people of the internet? It's your boy, the one and only, Aiden Queskin, and we are bringing you, aka the Don of the UFC breakdowns. This is the first one. Above average ape marketing. We got UFC 264, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, and got the homies, Mr. Kieran, Logan. We got diversifying the cast. But we are gonna go through fight by fight, break down the whole card, all 14 fights. Let these guys know my opinions, my highly educated opinion on all of these fights. Hopefully, hit a sick 14 fight parlay and make some goddamn money. We're gonna do this quickly, cleanly, and beautifully. Some real parlays, not losers. We're not going to do just like 14 money line, but we might have to. We'll see how it goes. But we're going to start in the middleweight division with Hu Yao Zong versus Alan Amadovsky. And this is your classic garbage dog water fight to open the card. So let me just tell you, Hu Yao Zong started, he was like 22 years old, comes in as a heavyweight, gets taken down and submitted by maybe the worst guy in the UFC. Since then, it's been 4 years. He's gone from heavyweight to 205. He looked kind of whatever at 205. Now this is 185. So he's dropped like 60 pounds since he's come to the UFC. He's, I think, 26 right now. He's 26 on the nose. He's not good, but this guy might be worse. This guy got knocked out by the worst fighter in the UFC, John Phillips, who's not even in the UFC anymore. Alan Amadovsky got knocked out in 14 seconds by the worst fighter in the UFC. Now you have a guy who's younger, developing, coming down 3 weight classes. He's taller by about 6 inches, but he's got a shorter reach. He's got these little T-Rex arms, and he's an underdog. I'm going to take the young guy. This guy's 0-2 in the UFC. This guy's 0-2 in the UFC, but one of them's young, hopefully developing, and I get dog money on him. Give me the dog. Give me the dog here. Let's open the.
Do you have another house?
We got another house. We're hitting the first house on Yao Zong Hu at plus 120. Yeah, complete dog water fight, but we're taking it. We're gonna take. And on Draftkings, Alan Amadovsky's 9,000. Are you fucking kidding me?
What?
This guy's complete garbage. They're both not great, but I'm gonna take the younger, hopefully developing guy at dog money. Let's move on. Zagalas Zumagulov versus
I love this guy. Pretty good.
Jerome Rivera. The stone worst at 125. The fool just gets knocked out in, I think, like a minute against Ode Osborne his last fight. He got completely outclassed by Francisco Figueiredo, Figgy's brother, Davison's brother, not even close to as good as Davison, and just ran the gauntlet on Jerome Rivera. Takedowns, nothing. Tyson Nam knocked him dead. Jerome Rivera is awful. Zalagas Magulov is the best guy he's ever fought. Jerome's the worst guy Zalagas has ever fought. Zalagas is 0-2 in the UFC, but he's gone against the fucking creme de la creme. He went against Rowland Pavia, who's a stud, and Amir Albazi, who's just like another up-and-coming talent. Like, he went against 2 guys, decision both times, competitive both times. Now he's getting the easiest fight of his life.
Yeah, but
Zumugulov's amazing. He's minus 375. This isn't news, but, you know, I think we can hit it. What's inside the distance? Yeah, that's fine. You're good. You're good. Yeah, Zumagulov inside the distance is 275. I think he gets the job done. I mean, he's six KOs, 1 submission, 6 decisions against a guy who's awful. It could be a greasy decision. The guy's a lot taller. I'm probably just going to add him as a moneyline parlay and just forget about it. I should probably pull Draftkings up, but I'm pretty sure that... yeah, I'll have Draftkings pulled up as well. Zumagulov is like in the 8Ks, and Jerome Rivera is pretty cheap, I believe. But I'm not looking to play really either of them. Zumugulov's 9,300. Yeah, that's probably too much because he doesn't really have locked-in finishing upside. He could grapple. I think you should have some exposure, but he's not a guy that I'm really targeting at that price range. Moving on, Omari Akhmedov versus the Hawaiian. Probably should have been a model, Brad Tavares. Come on now. I mean, Amari Akhmedov, I think, is just better everywhere. Maybe cardio, it goes to Brad Tavares, but Tavares has looked pretty bad. He's one is this is 185, yeah, 185. Omari is a dog. I like that. Brad, I think, is only a favorite because he beat Antonio Carlos Jr. Like, that doesn't mean much to me. Amari just fucked up Tom Breeze, and I get it. It's Tom Breeze. Like, the dude shows up where he doesn't, but give me the dog money on Omari against Brad, who has a history of having terrible takedown defense. Sure, he looked good against Antonio, but Antonio doesn't know how to shoot. Give me the hairy Russian. The hairy Russian. No, we're going to keep rolling. I mean, we got 2 dogs in the first 3 fights. We can parlay. I mean, what's the double dog parlay if we want to get a little crazy with that sloppy Hu Zhao Yang fight? We go plus 120, Zalagash and Omari. That's 5-1 in your first 3 fights. I like that little easy parlay. I'm going to say Omari gets takedowns, and if he can survive the 3rd round, he'll probably win the first 2 rounds pretty easily. Takedowns, Brad, his chance is going to get a knockout in the 3rd. You just made a lineup right there with that information? Yeah. We'll take Omari as a dog. I think he's just going to use takedowns, control time, and get a decision here. Omari by decision is plus 450. There's no fucking way. That's ridiculous. Oh, that's inside the distance, yeah. Decision's 240. That's still pretty good. 2.5 to 1 on your money. Moving on to what is in the bout order. It is Jennifer Maia. Okay. This is another fight that's definitely going to decision and probably not going to be that entertaining. I think Jennifer Maia uses grappling and gets the job done. Holds top control. Maybe gets a finish. Seems like Jessica Eyes worked on her defensive wrestling and working off her back. She looked okay against Cynthia Calvillo, but I think Maia's heavier, bigger, and just better than Calvillo. Jessica Eyes just, she's on OnlyFans now. She's done. Yeah. I mean, she has an OnlyFans. You can get a nude picture for $5,000 if you're looking for it. Yeah. Trying to piece up? No. Yeah.
Is there anyone that has a UFC 5000
Conor McGregor maybe? Pay $5,000 for a Conor dick pic maybe? I don't know. Yeah. Jennifer Maia is almost 2-1 favorite. Makes sense. Heard by decision. Seems pretty safe at plus 110. I like that. I mean, maybe she gets a sub, but I think she comes out here, looks pretty good, gets a decision, rides top control for DraftKings. 8,800 is probably too much. I mean, she might just sit in top control and get 15 minutes of control time, but I mean, let's be honest here. This is a go grab a beer kind of fight. Trevin Giles versus Dricius Duplessis. Duplessis came in kind of hot and knocked out Marcus Perez in his debut. He looked pretty good. Yeah, he's jacked. Trevin Giles seems... This is going to be a good scrap. I think it's going to kind of depend on how Trevin fights. If he comes in and works the grappling and maybe tries to gas out Duplessis, he could do it. But I don't know. I have a feeling that Duplessis is here to stay, and he's going to come in and just bomb on Trevin. I see a lot of people taking the dog play on Trevin. I understand it. He's plus 100 right now. The line movement is in his favor. He went from... oh, no, it's not actually. I lied. I just straight up lied to your face right there. He was minus 110. Now he's plus 100. So the line is moving away from him. But I'm seeing on Twitter and the Twitterverse that people are hitting the Trevin Giles dog money, and I think he comes out, has to get the grappling going, or he is going to get bombed on by this South African dime piece. I mean, look at that hair and that face. That dude's a model. Come on. Yeah, I mean, kind of looks like me, but maybe a little bit smaller and worse hairline, probably worse jawline as well. But we're going to take Dricius. I don't know. I feel like if you're going to take just a money line, Trevin Giles money line is okay, but a little part of me wants to go like Duplessis round 1 KO and just let that the line is not out for that specific prop. We're recording a week in advance, but Duplessis inside the distance is not even plus 200. This is not a fight that I want to really be betting on, but if I was, I think DraftKings, you look to take a dog shot on Giles for the grappling upside. Duplessis, you probably have to split exposure. This is the first fight. I would say pass from a betting perspective, but if you want to have some fun, Duplessis round 1 KO or Trevin Giles by decision. Moving on. Ryan Hall versus the young fucking prospect killer that's been super impressive, Ilia Topuria, who cashed me a huge KO prop against Damon Jackson when he sent his appendix to the other side of his body. It's you bet a submission artist to KO, and then he comes in and does it. Yeah, what's going on? You know, you got to hit those. So Ryan Hall, his nickname's the Wizard, and that's true. This dude is insane at jiu-jitsu. He literally looks like me. I mean, come on, you see the chest hair? Ryan Hall is gonna come out on his back, trying to pull guard as soon as possible. If this is a standing fight, Ryan Hall's gonna be trying to stay at range, throw crazy weird kicks, and just keep away from the boxing range because Topuria is gonna light him the fuck up if he gets inside. I think this is when Ryan Hall kind of realizes like you can only do that strategy of his so much and get you so far in the UFC. I mean, Darren Elkins, BJ Penn, Gray Maynard, Artem Lobov, like now you're going against a real motherfucker. And I think 145. Ilia Topuria, I think, is the future of the division. The kid's 24 years old, slick grappler in his own right. Ryan Hall's 36, hasn't really fought anybody, and now is going against a fucking murderer. Let's go round 2 KO body shot, similar to the Damon Jackson one, but instead of like a clean KO, it's going to be just him TKOing Ryan against the fence as he just breaks him down through the first portion of the fight. Just TKO up against the fence. Odds are, I believe, Ryan Hall's almost a 2-1 dog. Topuria is pretty big favorite, -250. Do we get anything inside the distance? +110. Again, not great. I probably just use Topuria money line as a parlay piece. Maybe KO if it's juicy. Oh, now we're getting to the real shit. Nico Price versus Michel Pereira is going to be just complete and absolute madness. I mean, what's the inside the distance, or what's the fight to? Where is the fight to finish inside the distance is probably like -600. I don't even see it on best fight odds. Am I tripping? There it is. All right. Under 1.5 rounds, +150. That seems pretty nice. Fight doesn't go to decision is only -175. I would bet my fucking life on that. So talk to me after the show, baby. We already lost the house on the first Conor fight. Nico Price is a wild man. Michel Pereira is a wild man, but I believe Nico Price is damaged goods at this point. He couldn't get Cowboy out of there. He almost got finished himself. Nico Price has been just knocked out. He goes out. He goes out on his shield, as they say. And Michel Pereira is big enough and strong enough. I think he cracks him and puts him away. This is going to be his complete madness for as long as it lasts. I like it to end inside the first round. Probably need exposure to one of these guys on DraftKings. Nico Price is 7,300. Yeah, I mean, if he wins, he's going to be optimal. It's going to be inside the distance. Has Michel Pereira been knocked out before? He loses a lot, but the way he's fighting, he's tightened it up in the UFC, but he's still just huge and throws bombs, and I just don't trust Nico Price's chin. He's lost 8 decisions. He's been finished. Yeah, the dude's huge. He's young. He throws heat, and Nico Price is there to take the heat. I think Michel Pereira finishes him probably early just because of the way these guys fight. I'll take round 1 KO and move on to the next fight. We are making great time. We don't need 2 hours for this shit. Carlos Condit versus Max Griffin.
What? He's fighting?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking love Carlos Condit.
Carlos Condit, OG vet, just a dog. Man is 37 years old, has looked pretty trash in the last couple of years. Truthfully, I think Max Griffin's a pretty big fit. Yeah, he's -200. I think if you want, you can take a shot on Carlos just because I don't think Max Griffin is. Nah, it wouldn't be inside the distance. I mean, I just think Max. I don't know. As a fan, you want to root for Carlos Condit. Yeah, pull it over here. He's been finished once. A lot of decisions that were kind of split decisions. I think Max comes out, gets his grappling going, is a great look on DraftKings because if he does win, he's going to implement grappling. Carlos has been super susceptible to takedowns in the past, still is. Max is no young buck in his own right. He's 35, a lot less experience. This could get hairy if it's a stand-up fight. I can't bet against Carlos Condit in my heart, you know? I can't do it. I'm going to take. It hurts this. I mean, it's like you're going to take Max Griffin as 2-1 favorite at 35 years old and hope that he comes out grappling for 3 rounds. Like, You know what? Let's go for the long shot. Give me the dog. Carlos Condit, plus 165, but we're going to get juicy with it, and we're going to take a round 3 KO. Max Griffin's going to come out, guns ready to fire, getting the takedowns early. He's going to try to implement. He's going to go 2 rounds, taking Carlos down. It's going to tire him out. Carlos is going to come out in the third and knock Max Griffin out with a body kick. That's how I'm calling it. That's what's going to happen. Max Griffin looks dominant until he falls apart in the third. That's what I'm saying. That's how it's going to go. We like Ilia Latifi. Carlos Condit, we don't really. I mean, if I'm being honest, if we're doing a parlay, I don't have Carlos Condit, and I definitely don't. I have Ilia Topuria, and if I'm doing like just, I'll do the super safe parlay at the end, and it's going to involve Ilia Topuria. But because I'm a Carlos Condit guy, and I'm going to go with my heart on this one, we're taking Carlos Condit, round 3 TKO. But truthfully, probably a pass. Max Griffin, money line at -200's dog shit. Ilia Topuria at -250 is much better. Moving on, we have the main event, or not the main event, the main card. It just closed out. There we go. Sean O'Malley, Sugar Show, going against Chris Mutijo, who is, let's be honest, he's a scrub. He's coming in to get knocked out. He's coming in to give Sean O'Malley a highlight reel on a McGregor card. They're trying to push O'Malley. I mean, he's -900. Inside the distance is probably something similar. Yeah, -350 inside the distance. If we want to get weird, I think Chris, I feel like you could take O'Malley by submission. I don't know. He talks all week about getting highlight reel KOs, and it's like, if it's one of those things that you talked about with Ilia earlier, is you take a guy that's going to be -200 to win by KO, and you take by sub, and fucking he stings him, and the guy shoots in on the guillotine and gets tapped. I don't know. You know, like, if O'Malley by sub is 10-1, let's fucking dance, baby. I just said they want to give Sean that highlight reel on a Conor card, shoot this dude into superstardom. He's gonna come out and send Chris Mutao's head into orbit and fuck him up. I'm an O'Malley guy. That's my dog. He's 9,500. Come on now. O'Malley's 9,500 on Draftkings. I think you got to have him in every lineup. He's gonna finish this dude in the first round. Probably get a couple knockouts. This guy has been finished in all of his professional losses. It's just not gonna happen. I know everyone wants to root against O'Malley, but this is not the spot. He's gonna come out in style on this dude, get a highlight reel for the McGregor card. So far, let's just see what the safe parlay so far would be. Yeah, he's opener of the main. If we're gonna go just a safe parlay that feels kind of nice, we're gonna go Zalagas, Topuria. You can't add a -900 to the parlay. You'd have to take O'Malley inside the distance. Yeah, you can. Yeah, with money lines, 100%. That's +100. That's still not super great. Let's add a little Conor McGregor love to it at +100. Now we're talking. All right, that's a spoiler. We haven't talked about the main event yet. All right, back to the card. Moving on. Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. We have. Talk to me. Yana Kunitskaya, +100. I think we're going to take this dog, and the same reason that we had for the... I guess you can make the same argument for Max Griffin. That's why we went against him. But it's the same for Akhmedov. Is sure, we all know Irene Aldana is the cleaner boxer. She's better at stand-up. But I think the past 2 fights that we've seen from Yana, sure, Irene's better than her last 2 opponents, but she can implement that same game plan. So she's had to have planned the same game plan for Lena, Marion, Aspen, Stolyarenko, and Ketlin Vieira, where it's pretty much just fucking hug her, hold her, get her up against the fence, maybe get a takedown here. For DraftKings specifically, I don't think you look for Irene at 8,300. She's not gonna knock out Yana. She's gonna win if Irene wins, it's gonna be 100 strike decision, and she's gonna score 70 points. You can't get there. But Yana, if she does win, it'll be grappling based. You'll get a lot of control time, and she'll pay off 7,900. So for DraftKings specifically, I like Yana over Irene. I'll probably full fade Irene. Hopefully she doesn't get a first or second round knockout, and we'll go from there. For money line, I think you can take the stab on Yana at +100. Irene has shown the ability to get taken down. Yana is also younger than her. I thought Irene Aldana was this young prospect. She's 33. Yana's 32. Like, this is not the youngest of ladies in the division. These are not... I was a big Irene fan, and she just never really got me excited other than the Vieira fight. But I mean, we've seen what Vieira has become. I'll take the dog. Yana Kunitskaya at plus 100. Not excited about it. Probably by decision as plus 163. It makes it a little bit better, but yeah, you're not super excited about betting this one, as you should not be. Now we get to some big boys. We're flying through this card. We're making progress. We got the kid making the bets. Logan making his DraftKings lineups. One of us three you will see at the top of the leaderboards, 100%. Probably a bored ape. Talk to him. We have Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa against Greg, the Prince of War Hardy, and this is Greg Hardy coming off of a brutal TKO exhaustion victory against.
Yeah. Well, said he took a loss last. Oh, he got popped for something.
No, he got fucked up.
Yeah. He got tired.
No, Marcin Tybura so Greg comes out, tags him up in the first round. Marcin survives, gets to the second round. Greg Hardy's just gassed, gets taken down. Greg has terrible ground game. I think Ty is just a younger. I don't know. It's like Greg's obviously the better athlete, but Ty's an athlete in his own right. I think he's experienced. I think he comes out and probably gets the job done. I'm gonna say round 3, round 2 KO. It's gonna be just a slot fest. These boys are gonna throw. Greg, ultimately, I don't think Greg hits that fucking hard compared to his other heavyweight.
I misread it. I'm sorry. I thought it was 240.
Yeah, they're both about the same size.
They're both coming in heavyweight.
Yeah, they're about Greg's taller, bigger reach, but ultimately he doesn't know how to use it. I think he gets pieced up round 2, same as Marcin Tybura. He gets tired and shells up and probably goes and starts an NFL podcast. Give me Tai Tuivasa inside the distance plus 100. Let's have some fucking fun. If we want to get specific, let's do round 2 KO for Tai Tuivasa. Greg Hardy, sorry, dog. You've underperformed in this sport, and you will continue to. Let's keep going. Get the blood flowing with the co-main event of the evening.
Thompson.
Sick fight. Great matchup. We got Gilbert Burns versus the Wonder Boy, the Wonder Man. The dude's 36 years old, but as talented as ever. 38. I lied. Wow, he's up there.
This is the best fighting he's probably had, right?
He's looked phenomenal his last 2 fights. He looked great in the Anthony Pettis loss. He looked pretty good in the Darren Till fight, but Anthony Pettis, he was fucking him up till he eats a Superman punch that knocks him out, which is a little concerning, but then he goes on to completely outclass Vincente Luque and Jeff Neal, who just shit on Woodley, but that doesn't mean all that much. Gilbert Burns, who's also 34 years old and coming off of a TKO loss to Kamaru Usman, where he looked amazing for about a minute and then just fell apart. He came out hot, got the blood flowing. Pretty much this is the classic striker versus grappler, where I seen all the stats going around where people saying Wonder Boy hasn't been taken down. Then I see people saying because he hasn't fought wrestlers, and then it's people talking about his movement. And I think ultimately Woodley's
Isn't he a Division I
Woodley's a wrestler. Doesn't mean he wrestles in fights. He doesn't have output. Woodley's a thickie with a bomb and maybe a double leg if he needs it. He's not going to be the guy that's going to get takedowns. And also, he doesn't have the jiu-jitsu that Gilbert Burns does. Gilbert Burns is a phenomenal jiu-jitsu grappler. He's not a Kamzat. Ultimately, I think just Gilbert Burns, I don't know. I just don't think he is the creme de la creme. And I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is one of the best. I mean, it's a fact. He's one of the best strikers of all time. And I think he puts it together very, very well. Gilbert Burns, yeah, he's been knocked out twice. He got fucked up by Kamaru Usman. Tyron Woodley, he outclassed, as everyone does. Damian Maia is 50. Gunnar Nelson hasn't fought. Alexei Kuchenko is pretty good, well-rounded. Mike Davis, that's a big one. he's choked out the Falcons running back. I think there's a reason we haven't seen Steven taken down and controlled. Matt Brown did it a little bit ago, but I think his movement's clean. He's going to get the TKO. Give me the round 3 TKO over the exhausted Gilbert Burns. Talk to me. Let's take...
Is it a 5-round co?
3 rounds. I just don't see Wonderboy Thompson getting submitted. I mean, he's just so clean to stand up, controls range so well, and Gilbert Burns, not that great of a wrestler in his own right. I mean, he's phenomenal on the ground, but getting it to the ground short of just charging in, you're going to get clipped. And his defense of striking, I mean, he gets bombed on I just
can't really eat too many
What's the
Stephen
spread?
Thompson.
What's the line?
minus 155 for Wonder Boy, Wonder Man. It's not. I just don't like that price. I like dogs and.
I
Oh, I thought you said plus 155.
No, yeah. If it was plus 155, I'd be all over Steven. But it's again just because it's such a close matchup. You got to probably pass from a betting perspective, and definitely you don't take Steven in a DraftKings. He's not 8,500. It's like you don't take strikers in DraftKings, and he's a striker. I like Steven to win. I think he wins. Probably not going to bet it. Gilbert Burns at 7,700 is probably your DraftKings look because of the grappling upside. Pretty much just only taking grapplers is the play on DraftKings, and Gilbert Burns is nothing but. Yeah, I mean, Gilbert Burns sure could come out hot, throw a bomb, like catch Wonder Boy. Maybe his chin isn't what it used to be. That Pettis Superman punch cracked something, and now Gilbert comes out hot, and the punch that put Kamaru down actually put Steven down. But I think we just see Wonder Boy put on a incredible performance, stays at range, lights him up from the outside. Gilbert gets tired and probably gets TKO'd late in the fight. Now we're talking. Now we're getting to the main event. We have the Notorious.
It's like, the video's over.
This is where it gets real, people. We have the Notorious Conor McGregor
Bias.
versus
Real bias.
Dustin the Diamond Poirier.
I have a question. This is really...
Talk to me.
What is Conor McGregor's current record at 155 in the UFC?
Conor McGregor is currently plus 100. Dustin Poirier at minus 120. And you know. Come on. Come on. You know where we're going.
To the moon.
We're taking the 145 GOAT. The man who dominated Max Holloway in a decision victory. The man who knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, however many.
9 years ago?
The man who is going to redeem himself after that last performance where he came in too boxing focused, you know? Now he's coming in.
We've got Ronda Rousey, round 2.
Now he's going to check the leg kick.
He's going to not only check the leg kicks, but he's going to put so much pressure that Dustin Poirier isn't even going to throw one. Dustin Poirier, he's going to mind fuck Poirier in there. No, so seriously, okay, so Dustin Poirier has been knocked out a handful of times. I think he's susceptible to the knockout. He's taken a ton of damage, and that's really why I want to take my guy Conor. I think he has a chance. If it gets past the first round, obviously his chances go down huge. If you're going to bet Conor, probably just take round 1 KO. I think because I've seen Dustin get shadow realmed by Michael Johnson, get shadow realmed by Conor. Like, we've seen him when he loses, he gets... I mean, he's been on a tear. He's obviously super fucking talented. Just putting away the best of the best. Yeah.
Anthony Pettis.
Look at the
Eddie Alvarez. Justin Gaethje.
I understand.
Max Holloway.
I'm really. You can tell him. Yeah.
He had
Let him know.
Khabib in the guillotine, dude.
A couple times. Yeah.
Guillotine, dude.
Bro, he won 4 rounds, bro.
I mean, let's just go through. So, crazy war against Eddie Alvarez. Michael Johnson sleeps him. All of his fights he just takes so much damage, and I think at a certain point that accumulates, and your chin just is not as good as it used to be. Dan Hooker had him on skates in the end of the second round, I believe, and I think Conor maybe hurt him in the first there. He looked good. Leg kicks were a huge issue. Timing was a little bit off, but as a Conor fan, I got to take my guy. As a Conor fan, I got to take my guy. It's ultimately, I'm just a Conor nut rider. I got his balls in my mouth. I'm taking Conor round 1 KO and hoping it doesn't go past the first 5 minutes. Hopefully he gets in, gets out early, or we're going to be in for a long night. First round knockout for Conor McGregor is... Conor wins in round 1, +4. It's +450, +375. So like in the 4-1 range, which is nice. That's his best path to victory.
In the last 10 fights, he's had that good of a...
I know all of his lines were crazy. I think I'm gonna take. I got to take my guy 100%. Where are you going?
I'm not gonna bet.
Conor.
Out of respect to him, I think Conor's a bum. So.
You think Conor's a bum?
Yeah, I don't think he's good at all anymore. I'm sorry, Conor.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. If I wasn't such a fan, it'd be just a brutal spot to be in. You lost to this guy 3 months ago. He just kind of outclassed you. But you know what? Conor's coming in, throwing bombs.
It was a good first round.
I was drunk as
But it was a
hell
really
off the
bad
proper
second
number
round.
12, and he lost, bro. That's not how you... That's not how proper number 12 is supposed to be.
The second round is somewhere Conor does not want to be. At least for his happiness, being an ex-Conor fan, if he wins the fight, everybody wins. The UFC wins,
Yeah.
Aiden wins, a
We
lot
all-
of money, and
we-
I'll win.
We for DraftKings, Conor McGregor's 8100, Dustin Poirier's 8100.
What is Conor McGregor exposure on your DraftKings?
I'm gonna have 100%.
100%.
Don't do
duh.
that.
I'm gonna have 100% of
Please,
Conor.
Please don't do that.
I will always have 100% of
No,
Conor.
Because if he loses and you have Dustin and he makes you $1 million, at least you'll feel a little better.
I won't.
No, man.
Too bad it's
Come
only
on, man.
250K.
Yeah, but so to wrap this up with a nice little bow, we are going to do.
Parlays.
Yeah, we're gonna just throw the whole parlay together, the 12 leg or the 14 leg parlay. Thanks for listening to me break down this card like a fucking samurai. We're gonna go Conor McGregor, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Tai Tuivasa, Yana Kunitskaya, Sean O'Malley. We're gonna take inside the distance. We're gonna take Sean O'Malley inside the distance.
Why are we doing
Poirier.
Topuria,
Oh my God.
Carlos Condit, because we're fucking
Stop.
we're
Stop,
men
bro,
and
you
we
just
believe in
ruined
our
it. You just
heroes.
ruined it.
Michelle Pereira, we're taking.
Yeah.
Jennifer Maya.
Oh.
This is the one that you probably shouldn't add is the
No,
Duplessis,
you
Trevin
gotta add
Giles.
Jessica Eyes so that we can afford the OnlyFans by adding it.
Yeah. Omari Akhmedov, Samir Zalagash Zamagulov,
Then
and then
Hugh.
Hugh.
Why don't
For
you show them what
What
Hey.
are
you're
the
doing?
odds we're getting?
Show them
We're
what you're
getting
doing.
plus
Drag him.
157,000.
Drag him.
where?
Grab the top and then just drag it to the left.
Here we go. You guys can see the parlay. We have Conor McGregor, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Tai Tuivasa, Yana, O'Malley inside the distance, Ilia Topuria, Carlos Condit, Michelle Pereira, Jennifer Maya, no relation to Damian Maya, Dricius Duplessis, nervous about that one, Omari Akhmedov, Zalagash, and Hugh Zhaoyang for a...
That's a good one.
156,000 to 1.
Talk to me, baby.
What will they allow you? Like, what is the max bet on that?
I think
The
you'll
max
make
bet's going to be about
15
30 cents to win, like...
30
seven-
cents is the
seven.
max?
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
no,
I don't even know what...
It's gonna be like
They might not
$5.
even let you bet that, yeah. I mean, there's no... I mean, they 100% they let you bet it because there's no way it fucking hits, but...
Well, can you
Um,
give them like a real? I would think people want to.
Oh, I know. I'm just giving them the whole card. So this is the whole card parlay. If we're going to go all 14 fights, if we're going to be ridiculous about it, but if we're going to be honest and like real fucking true sharp gamblers here, probably don't have the main event, probably don't have the co-main event. You're going to have O'Malley inside the distance. This is a bet. This is a bet. This is a safe bet right here. This is where you want to live. And then that's probably the safest parlay on the card if I had to think of one. It's plus 120. It's not even fun. It's like that's just not even where you want to live. If we were really gonna go for it, we're gonna add in. We're gonna add in Hu Zhaoyang, Omari, and now that's a quick 10 to 1. Those are two dogs I like that I think are pretty decent for the fight matchup. I think they're good. I think they can win. You get 10 to 1 on it, but because I'm a goddamn fan and I'm wearing the man shirt, we're adding Conor McGregor 20 to 1. So I just threw a bunch of ridiculous parlays at you. This is the first of hopefully many UFC breakdowns. We got the man, the Rizzler. I'm the breakdown aficionado, the one, the only Aiden Queskin. Thank you for following. I'm going to try to end this thing as soon as possible with a little touch of the button.